Well, welcome to part 4 of my restoration process for my Wisner 8x10 large format camera. If you've missed any of the other episodes that I've done so far, I'll put a link up to the series above so you can catch up with these. So over the last couple of episodes, I've basically gone through an introduction of the camera, what I'm planning to do with it, all that sort of thing. I've also stripped it down a bit, cleaned up the bellows, did a light test. I've cleaned up all the brass work, or most of it anyway, and just generally sort of lubricated all the gearings and the tracks and stuff like that. So got everything kind of working. There was a few bits out of line, so I've managed to get all that up and running. So everything's pretty good and in good working shape, and the bellows thankfully are fine. Also made a couple of discoveries. One was the original owner, his name on a little placard in the last episode. That was quite interesting. I've tried to track him down, but no joy as yet. But yeah, that's quite a good little find. So in this episode I'm going to go through a few things. First and foremost is a lens board. Now I've been scouring the internet. I've got quite a few contacts now, both in the UK but mainly in the US, that make lens boards for this camera. Now there's two options. There's a fixed lens board for each lens, or there is an option to make a panel, basically like a custom panel, which will take smaller lens boards. And I'm pretty unsure at the moment of which way I'm going to go. Probably going to go down the route of a separate lens board for each lens, because I'm looking at kind of maybe sort of 3 lenses for this outfit. So it's not too bad. They're a little bit bigger than obviously my 4x5 stuff, but that's not too much of a problem. Now I've had a few issues with sizing. Now because this camera that I've got it looks like it's been custom made. It's got a strange lens panel on the front. Now this lens panel is designed to give you rise and fall on the front, which I've discovered. Now the problem is the actual sizing of the lens board is a bit odd in places, so I've had to measure it with a micrometer to get definite measurements, and I've sent them off to a few people just to see if they can, well, one, if they've got stock lens boards, and 2, if they can make a custom one. Now the other thing that I want to go through today is the strap. Now, the strap that came with it was a standard sort of leather strap which came with the camera when it was manufactured. Now the problem is this strap, even though it's quite robust, it is starting to split around where it connects around the D-rings. Now the problem is, if it's splitting like this, I'm a bit concerned that one day I'll just take it out by the handle, it'll split and the camera will drop. So I've again scoured the internet, found a couple of leather workers locally, but in the UK, that make leather straps. Now I've been backwards and forwards messaging them about what sort of options I have. So ideally I want a sort of nice like a dark tan leather strap made with some nice lighter stitching. Now the problem is with the D-rings, they go through these little brass blocks that then fix to the camera body. Now the problem is the D-rings that are on there at the moment, I'm assuming they're split D-rings, which the split will be inside the brass block. Now, I'm a bit reluctant to prise this apart and take them off, because a new D-ring, I'm not sure whether it would fit. So what I'm going to do in this episode is clean up, take the strap off, cut it off, clean up these D-rings, and then basically send the old strap and the blocks and everything to the leather worker, and hopefully he can fashion a new strap. And last but not least on the list for today is the film back. So I'm going to strip this down, so basically take off the front part, which is the part that takes the film holder. 4 screws basically, take that whole assembly apart. I can then get underneath, clean out everything, make sure it's nice and clean. Now this, it's a bit squeaky and it's a bit tight, so I want to try and lubricate the springs as well, so it just makes it easier when it's all up and running to get the film holder in. So that's my tasks for this video. it's got, which I thought, it's got like a thin, really thin aluminium reinforcement going through the strap, but it cut through quite easily with a Stanley knife, so it's very thin. And it also leaves me now with these D-rings and the brass blocks, so I can easily clean these up. Now these look like brass, so I'm going to go very gently. I've got a little Dremel type tool, so I'm going to have a go with that, just polish these rings up, see if they'll come up nice. Whether they'll come up perfect, I don't know, but we shall see. Well, these were quite heavily tarnished and pitted as well, so I've had quite a job cleaning them up, but they're a lot better than they were. You can see that it's freed the strap lug up as well, which is pretty good. I might get these replaced, I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to clean this film back up now. So the first thing I need to do is take this section off, so this part that moves, which is spring loaded, is attached by 4 screws. Sure I don't lose them. That gives me access then to clean this. As you can see, it's a bit mucky underneath, dust and grime, so I'm going to clean that out first, and I'm going to clean the springs and the underside of this as well. These springs actually come apart as well, so I can clean all underneath. So now I'm going to reassemble it. I'm taking some pictures while I've been doing this to make sure I get it back in the same way. So it sits in there. These top springs go over the top, and then the screws back down. Excellent. Right, that's the back on. Final test. Put a film holder in. Excellent. Just make sure it's seated properly. You can see it's all seated around the edge. So if I take the dark slide out, you can see then we've got our grooves here which show up on the film borders. Seated down at the bottom, so that's all good. So that's come out pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with that. The springs feel a little bit looser. I've lubricated just these bits here where the springs sit against the body. Film holder goes in nice and tight, which is good. Ground glass is pretty good. I've got a protector coming which slides into two grooves up here, which will just slide in across there. The ground glass itself, I'm not sure whether I'm going to replace it yet. It depends how it performs when I go out and do a test shoot with it, but it looks okay. It's nice and clean now. I might put a Fresnel on there, which means taking these 4 screws, the little rubber pads underneath, and then the Fresnel sits underneath that and goes back, but again I'm not sure if I'm made to do that. But other than that, there's a few sort of knocks and dings on the top of the holder here, so I'm not sure. I might just lightly sand these. I'm not sure if I'm going to fill it, but I've got some little wood stains, so I might just sand it down lightly, stain it, and just polish it back up as well with a bit of varnish maybe on the top. Don't want to go too mad. Another thing I've managed to do is adjust these 2 little tabs here, so when you close it down, you've got these 2 brass tabs here which connect to this and close the camera up. They weren't lined up before, couldn't get it to close properly, but now, beautiful. So before I sign out on this episode, just a couple of little updates which I thought I'd add in just before I say goodbye. First and foremost, lens boards. Now, I've been scouring the internet and I've found a handful of people that actually make the lens boards for Wisner. Most of them are in the States. So we've got Richard Ritter, which is he's quite well known, really helpful guy. There's SK Grimes or SKG in the States as well. But there's also a guy called Ross at Burley Cameras. So I'll put the links to all these people in the description below. But they've been super helpful, trying to get me to figure out which lens board I need for this. And I've ordered one. So it's a Copal One lens board. Haven't got the lens yet, but that covers quite a few lenses that I'm looking at. So fingers crossed next time I'll be able to add a lens to it as well. But on that topic, the model, somebody kindly messaged me via YouTube and actually put me onto the fact that this model is actually, I've actually found out what model it is. It's called, I've got it written down here because I can't remember the name, it's the fully geared Pocket Edition Wisner 8x10. Now, I've talked about the gearing before. There's gearing on the front standard, there's gearing on the front tilt and rear tilt as well. But the weight is what I thought it was. I haven't actually weighed it properly yet, but I found their description of it online, and the weight is coming in at 4 kilograms. It'll be great for backpacking. But yeah, it's been really helpful to find that out. Now, one limitation which is listed online for this particular model is the lens range. Now, wide lenses are fine. You can go right up to 110, I think it is the widest. I'm looking at kind of 180 to add to my arsenal of lenses for this camera, which is equivalent to about 24mm if you're thinking in sort of 35mm terms. But at the longest end, they're listing 580 as a sort of a maximum lens. I think possibly I could push it to 600, but I'm not sure. I'll have to do some more research on that. So yeah, great little a great few weeks basically covering all these little bits and pieces. I've been finding out all sorts about this camera. So for now, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next time.